I'm doing another tag, and I saw Jim from Books and Reading and Stuff. I am so sorry, Jim. I get your name wrong every time, but this time I was determined to get it right. I call it all kinds. Jim's Books and Reading and Stuff. This is called the Omnivore Reading Book Tag. It was originated by Emma at Cup of Books, and it is, well, you talk about a set number of genres that you like, and you have these 3 questions for each genre. So I'm going to start with crime/murder mystery. What is the favorite book? I guess, what is your favorite book from this genre? I'm going to have to go with the recent Wife of the Gods. This was a traditional police thriller, like, you know, everything from the grouchy police chief to the morally questionable police guy. But it was set in Ghana, and there was like all this backstory, and the backstory wasn't just there to make this police officer kind of gritty and kind of relatable. It all came back to the end of the story, and it was amazing. So this was my favorite book from this genre recently. Next question was, what book are you currently reading or finished from this genre? The most recent crime murder mystery, I'm looking here in my recently read, and it seems like, yeah, it seems like that's the one. Wife of the Gods is the latest one that I read. So not only is my favorite so far, because a lot of times crime and murder mysteries are palate cleansers. They're not necessarily, they don't go over and above. They get a 3 because they get the job done. They're right in the middle. But Quay Cordy's book, Wife of the Gods, let me see what I gave it. I gave it 4 stars because it did go over and above. And I just thought the only reason why I got 4 stars is because at the beginning it just took a little too much time setting up what was going on. But I really appreciated where we ended up. But yeah, that was my most recent book in that genre. I have, I've been trying to expand this last year, this last 3 months. And so that's the reason why I haven't read as many of my favorite kind of just detective novels. Otherwise, this would have been different. I would have had a lot more detective novels and cozy mystery detective novels. I'm going to read Blackwater Rising by Attica Locke. I put this on my to-be read pile, and I bought it on Audible. And then when I went to my Goodreads to add it to want to read, it had been, I already put it as read, and I gave it 3 stars. I'm just like, I have no recollection of reading this book, but it's about it's a crime mystery, so I will be reading this soon. So there you go. My next favorite genre is horror. What is my favorite book from this genre? Right now, my favorite book, a lot of this is recent. My favorite book is, it's either going to be Ballad of Black Tom by Victor Lavelle or The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher. Those books were so good. Yeah, and again, I'm having, what is it, recency bias. I just read those books this year, and they were amazing. So, number 2, what book are you currently reading or finished from the genre? Right now, I'm rereading Needful Things. I'm comfort reading Stephen King right now. I am in the worst reading slump. I don't want to read. I don't, but Stephen King is always like exempt from that. And so right now I am listening to him every night. I'm listening to, and I like this version as well because he's reading it. So it's an audio version and he's reading it and I'm enjoying it. Number 3, what book on your TBR from this genre do you think you'll be reading next? And that'll be The Family Plot by Cherie Priest. Let me read this to you. It sounds really scary. It's like a gothic house. It's another gothic, like, scary house story. Music City Salvage is a family operation owned and operated by Chuck Dutton, master stripper of doomed historical properties. I'm going to jump down. This property is in unusually great shape for a condemned building. It's empty, but it isn't abandoned. Something in the Withrow mansion is angry and lost. This is the last chance to raise hell before the house is gone forever, and there's still plenty of room in the strange little family lot. New from Cherie Priest, a modern master of supernatural fiction, The Family Plot is a haunted house story for the ages, atmospheric, scary, and strange, with a modern gothic sensibility that every bit is as fresh as it is frightening. So yeah, that's my next one. So urban fantasy is my next one, and this is really like asking about who is my favorite child. What is your favorite book from this genre? I'm gonna say it's a tie between the Sookie Stackhouse series and the Undead series. They were the first 2 adult series that I read after coming out of the Twilight phase, and Sookie was sexy. The town was great. It brought in a bunch of other aspects of stories that I like. The cozy mystery aspect of the town and the kooky characters, the sexiness of Eric and Bill, grown-up sexy time, murder mysteries. But the Undead series by Mary Janice Dick Davison, they were hilarious. They were out loud hilarious, and also had really hot sexy times with vampires. So those 2 I think edge out any other series just because of not only their quality but because of the nostalgia factor. So the third question for this genre is, what book on your TBR from this genre do you think you'll read next? And that's A Blade So Black. It's the Midnight Verse by L.L. McKinney. I did a chapter, try a chapter, and I really enjoyed it. I ended up reading more than a chapter without realizing it. It was, it hooked me in really quickly, and was really enjoyable from page 1. It's so funny. I keep getting this mixed up with Ace of Spades, which I'm also excited about reading once it comes out. But I don't think it comes out until the summer. So A Blade So Black is the next urban fantasy series that I am going to read. Last but not least, one of my favorite genres are cozy mysteries. What is the favorite book? What is the favorite book from this genre? Favorite cozy mysteries. Cozy mysteries are kind of meant to take in, and they're kind of like junk food. So I don't actually end up remembering them. Now, I'm not going to call this my favorite, but it was the first one I realized that there were Black cozy mysteries out there. I didn't necessarily enjoy it. It was called Blanche and the Lamb. Let me figure out who wrote it. Blanche and the Lamb by Barbara Neely. And it was billed as a cozy mystery, but it didn't have a lot of the things that I've talked about multiple times on this channel about what I need from a cozy mystery. But since then, I've found a few other ones, and I guess I'll talk about those when it comes to what I'll read next when it comes to those. But there are some other ones that are that fit the bill as a cozy mystery more so than this one. I'm going to say that The Dough Must Go On by H.Y. Hannah is a favorite book from the genre, just because it's one of the first ones that has higher than a 3. 3 is not bad in my opinion. 3 means the book did what it needed to do, especially when it comes to things like urban fantasies and cozy mysteries and murder mysteries, because those books are just comfort books. Those are palate cleansers. They're books that are in between, like you know, horror story or a important tome, like a race book, or you know, a classic or something like that, or a book about like just a really heavy subject about, you know, child death or something like that. And I need to, or if I'm just not in the mood for anything heavy, I've had a heavy time in my actual life and I just want to escape into a nice world where the worst thing that can happen is that there's a witch whose chocolate magic is on the fritz. But The Dough Must Go On and Apple Strudel Alibi, both by H.Y. Hannah, had 4 stars. I couldn't tell you why. Again, these books kind of like run through my mind. But, oh, and another one, Bites the Crust. All 3 of them. And there's more. So there's like the Oxford Tea Room Mysteries, 4 Puddings in a Mist. And so those all got 3s like normal. But the 3 that I just described got a 4. So they did something extra for me. I can't remember what they were. But those were, I would say, recency bias, the 3 some favorites in that genre. I really don't have any favorite cozy mystery authors that I can think of just off the top of my head right now. I'm not currently reading a cozy mystery, but the last one I finished was Brood Awakening. That one, I gave it a 3, but this one should have gotten a 4. It was a step above for me. There was a lot more going on in this story than the norm. The character woke up and didn't know where she was and was kind of accused of murder herself. Her memory went back, like her memory stopped 15 years before. And so everybody around her remembered who she was, but like she didn't remember her daughter. She remembered her daughter as a 7-year-old. She remembered her ex-husband as, I think, her husband, and he was moved on, I think remarried maybe. Her boyfriend didn't, you know, he was patiently trying to allow her to come back to herself, and so it had a little bit of extra depth. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I give this a 4 right now, because I remember talking about this book and I remember really enjoying it. I am going to, so number 3 is, what book on your TBR from the genre do you think you'll read next? I did a read a chapter tag. I just decided I'm going to do this as a normal thing to try to kind of figure out what I want to read on my TBR, but it started off as a tag. And I tried Murder with Fried Chicken and Waffles, and this is a series of Black murder mysteries that are murder mystery cozy mysteries that I found. There was Deep Fried Trouble. There was one with an Asian author, and I'm assuming, I don't know if this is bad, but I'm assuming it's going to be an Asian character. It's called Death by Dumpling, and again, it's an Asian author. So diversifying my cozy mysteries is quite cool, the idea that that's coming up for me. So that's the Omnivore Reader book tag. Let me know if you're an Omnivore reader, or if you really just kind of stick to one set of books, 1 or 2 kinds of books. Would you like to be more of an Omnivore reader, or are you just happy sticking with your sci-fi or whatever? If you made it to the end of this book, Let's see. Let's put some food, different types of food emojis at the end. Your choice. Any different types of food to represent the fact that omnivore means we eat it all. Thank you so much for liking this channel, for subscribing and ringing that bell. Be easy on yourself, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.